Hi everybody and welcome back. So today what I mostly want to do in class is just watch a lot of videos of gamelan. I realize in this class we haven't had an opportunity to actually see the full ensemble performing quite yet. So for the most part today I'd like to spend some time doing that. But before we do so, I want to revisit a concept about rhythm that we talked about a little bit in the first week, but we didn't really come back to it. So that's the concept of Irama, and I'd like to explain that a little bit more clearly. So, Irama is the relative speed of the flowering instruments to the other instruments in the ensemble. So, in general, when we're moving through Irama, as the balongan line, that skeletal melody played by a lot of instruments like the saron and the slantam, as that line slows down, those notes that they're playing get further and further apart in time. Right? And that extra space that's created between those notes is actually filled in by the flowering instruments, who in turn are playing more actively, right? They fill in that extra space that's created. And vice versa. When we speed up from one irama to the next, the flowering instruments will speed up and then eventually they subdivide less. So in irama 1 or tanggung, we have 2 elaborating notes per balongan note. Right? And in Irama 2, we would have 4 elaborating notes per balongan note, something like that. So let's hop over to this PDF and take a look exactly at what the bonang, for example, is doing in Irama 1 versus Irama 2. Okay, so if we're looking at a particular instrument that is a flowering instrument and how it deals with irama, let's look at the example of bonang, because bonang has one of the kind of simpler elaboration patterns. So let's take a look at this balongan line. So imagine our balongan part has 2, 1, 2, 3, ro, chi, ro, lu. So if I'm in irama 1 or tanggung, then the bonang is going to play 2 notes for every 1 balongan note. And remember, the strong beat is always at the end, right? So our strong beats are right here for every 2-note part, right? So the bonang, all they're going to be doing is playing this exact pattern, the same notes as the balongan, but playing it twice, and twice as fast. So what I want you to look at is, take a look at our weak beats. Notice how on the weak beats, the 1 in the bonang is playing actually at the same time as the 2 in the balongan. But then on the stronger beat, these notes agree, right? So all of the patterns for all of the flowering instruments are kind of designed in a similar way. For other instruments, it might be more complicated. They aren't going to just play the exact same notes as the balongan, but the point is they take their own path, they use their own pattern, and then they arrive on these strong beats, this last one in particular being the most important, right? So here we have 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Ro, chi, ro, lu, at the same time as the balongan is just playing ro, chi, ro, lu. Now, if this is played in a slower pattern, right, in a slower irama, so if we're in irama 2 or irama dados, then this is going to be what it's going to look like. So we have this balongan moving slower, right, than in irama 1. And the bonang has more space to fill in. So they've got to fill in, instead of just filling in 2 notes per balongan note, instead we're going to have 4 notes per balongan note. So when we have the pattern 2, 1, again it's just going to play the same notes, but it'll play 2, 1, 2, rest, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, rest, 2, 3, 2, 3. So this kind of is a dividing point, right? We have this first chunk, which is based on 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, rest, 2, 1, 2, 1. And again, this 1 agrees on that seleh note. And the same thing for 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, rest, 2, 3, 2, 3. So notice in particular, the bonang is not actually playing faster here. It's playing roughly the same speed. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Versus in irama 2, 2, 1, 2, rest, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, rest, 2, 3, 2, 3. it's the balongan that's actually changing speed. So the balongan is spread further apart, and that gives us more room to fill in with the flowering instruments. The real result is a change of texture, right? So when we're in a fast tempo, the balongan instruments are really loud, yeah, especially if you have a lot of them playing together. So what you have is this very singular, clear melody coming out when we're in faster Irama. But when we're in slower Irama, suddenly this very complex texture emerges from all of these flowering instruments that are actually playing wildly different parts, right? The flowering instruments are all taking kind of their own paths, and this balongan melody is not as directly audible, right? So instead, we have all this extra space that's being filled in by those flowering instruments. So how do we actually change between Irama? So essentially, when the Irama is slowing down, right, if we're moving from tanggung to dados or dados to willet or something like that, what we're going to do is, at first, the flowering instruments are changing speed with the balongan, right? We're all slowing down together. But as soon as it gets slow enough that we're comfortable, that we're able to fill in 4 notes instead of 2, we do so, right? And for different flowering instruments, this might happen at different times. But the point is, as soon as they can fill in 4 notes comfortably instead of filling in 2 notes, they start subdividing, right? So let's take a look at what that looks like. And it's the same thing when we're moving to a faster Irama, right? So as we're speeding up, at first we're speeding up together. So if, for example, for some reason it was just this same balongan melody repeated over and over again, 2, 1, 2, rest, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, rest, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, rest, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, rest, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. So again, we're speeding up, and as soon as it's not comfortable to play 4 notes, we're going to change to playing 2. And if we're slowing down, looking at that same balongan part, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. So getting a feeling for that change is going to be really important once we start learning other kendang parts. And we're going to start in with that next week, looking at the kendang parts for ketawang, the form ketawang, like the piece Pusparna that we looked at. So let's try that a little bit just with clapping, right? So we're going to try that with right hand and left hand. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at those bonang parts, I just want to illustrate exactly what's happening when we are changing Irama, and I'd like you to practice this with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one hand here, which is representing my elaborating instrument, right? And one hand here, which is representing my balongan line, right? So at first, I'm going to start in Irama 1. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And I'm going to slow down into Irama 2. So I'm going to be going from Irama tanggung, Irama 1, to Irama dados, which is Irama 2, right? So I'm going to be changing to Irama dados, where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that transition might look something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that? So as we're slowing down, we have this new subdivision in our mind, right? So my left hand here is just slowing down gradually, slowing down, and then it continues going at that slow speed, while my right hand, playing the elaborating line, is actually playing twice the speed once we get down to that slow tempo. Now, in the opposite direction, if I'm going from Irama 2 or Irama dados to Irama tanggung or Irama 1, I'm going to be doing the opposite thing. So I'm going to be going from 4 elaborating notes per balongan note to 2 elaborating notes per balongan note. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah? So because these are our percussive instruments, when my balongan line is playing more actively, it's going to be much more prominent. And when my balongan line is playing more slowly, more sparsely, instead my elaborating instruments are going to become more prominent. So this is kind of the main rhythmic concept that's guiding Javanese gamelan. So what I'd like to do is actually take a look at what this sounds like in the context of a now. Alright, so here we have ladrang pariwisata. At first we're just going to look at the balongan part, which is totally written up here. What I'd like to do is just listen through to the sections where we're going through Irama transitions here. So we're going to listen to a little bit of the recording, and as we do, I'm going to be counting the subdivisions here. So we're going to start with 2, when we have 2 subdivisions of each note, so 2 strokes of a flowering instrument for every balongan note. That means we are in Irama 1, or tanggung. And then as we slow down, we're going to have 4 subdivisions per balongan note. That means we're in Irama 2, or dados. And then it's going to slow down even further after 1 full cycle, and then we'll be in Irama Willet. So I'm going to be counting along with the subdivisions so you can get a sense of exactly what I mean. And you'll hear the other instruments playing more actively as we go further and further down, while the balongan instruments are playing more sparsely. Okay, so let's try listening. Dados. So now we're in Irama Willet, or Irama 3. Piece is just going to continue in Irama Willet until the very end. Okay, so I'm sure you all remember this piece that we went over, Ladrang Wulujung, Laras Pelog Patet Barang. So what I'd like to do now is listen to the end of this piece. So right before the piece ends, we're actually going to transition back to Irama 1, Irama Tanggung. So we're going to start this recording near the end when we're still in Irama Dados, and we're going to listen to 1 repetition of this ngelek, this final section, as it's speeding up. And again, I'm going to count the subdivisions here so you can actually hear that transition. All right, so let's take a listen. dados. Listen to that peking, that high instrument, and you can hear it really clearly. The high-pitched sarong. Your head's only now 2 notes per balangan note. Now this isn't an Irama transition, this is the ending of the piece. Exactly. So I hope you were able to follow along with that. So as we listen to these other pieces and we check out videos from other ensembles, I want you to really pay attention to when the Irama is changing. And if we're going from Irama 1, tanggung, to Irama dados, so try and pay attention to that balongan line and see how fast it's moving in relation to the other instruments and how the feeling changes as we move from a faster Irama to a slower Irama.